What's up, everybody? Welcome to In Love with Horror. My name is AJ.
I'm Christy.
And y'all, this is our Never Let Go spoiler-free review. If it's your first time checking out the channel, thank you so much for clicking on the video. Make sure you subscribe because we talk about all things horror over here, from the reviews to the reactions, you name it. Make sure you subscribe so you stay tuned in and join the conversation with us. So, again, this is spoiler-free, y'all. We got a chance to watch Never Let Go a little early. Hey, follow us on social media because we did a lot. We did an out of theater reaction over there. We got pictures and stuff from that little event that we went to. It was a lot of fun.
It was fun.
Hey, look, follow us on IG and Twitter, y'all, or X or whatever. But if you're not familiar with Never Let Go, so Never Let Go is the latest film from Alexandre Aja. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong. My bad. But it's his latest film. Same guy that did like Crawl and stuff like that. Crawl was dope.
It was good.
Of course, it stars.
Halle
I'm gonna get these names right because these people deserve it. The leads in this, of course, are Halle Berry, Anthony B. Jenkins, who was recently in The Deliverance, and then Percy Daggs IV. So Anthony and Percy play the two young children, and of course Halle Berry is playing their mother. But the film follows Halle Berry and her two sons who are living in this cabin in the woods, and it's almost like the mom makes it seem like it's almost like an apocalyptic world, and they're like, hey, there's evil out there, we have to stay attached to this house, which where the name Never Let Go comes from. If you leave the house, you got to hold onto this rope, you can't never let it go, or else the evil will get you. And so they're kind of like trapped at this cabin, and they're trying to survive, they run alone, food, stuff like that, right? They're trying to survive out there while this evil that's out there is out to get them. And that's the basic premise for this film. So the way we're going to do this spoiler-free review, y'all, we'll go through kind of a few topics here and kind of go over our thoughts on each topic and then give you an overall rating. So you want to start like topic by topic, or do you want to give a brief
go through the topics
summary of what you thought about the film?
We can just do topics.
You want to go through topics? Okay. So let's start with story then. What do you think about the story of this film?
Oh, I thought it was a good story. There's a lot of pieces and elements that go with it. But I mean, I feel like for the most part, it's a pretty straightforward story. Like you said in the synopsis, that's basically what it's about. This mother trying to survive, protect her kids from the evil that's outside. And her going through the lengths that she needs to go through in order for that to happen. And to see that they do not die.
Right, exactly.
So I thought it was pretty... a pretty good story overall.
Yeah, I agree. I thought the story was really well done. I've said it before on this channel that I like simplified stories. And I feel like in a way, this is a very simple situation. Like we just already, you already repeated it from the top, right? But I feel like this type of story allowed for, a good paced film, as with things like this, you start off like it's a mystery and then it slowly starts to unravel as you get different pieces of the story. And I feel like the movie is paced in a way where the story unfolds in a really good way. But I like a lot of the dialogue that was in this film, how they present some of the exposition with this evil and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's some narration, storytelling. But yeah, I do like the way that things kind of uncover, and like you said, like how the pieces unravel. Like every once in a while, we get a little bit of nuggets to this, or nuggets to the past, and what's actually going on, and all this kind of stuff. So I thought that was
it's
really
got
well
this
done.
like almost like folktale element to it. Yeah, it's kind of got that.
It does have like that folktales vibe to it. There's kind of like I was mentioning earlier, like there's some small little elements that go into the story. But like you mentioned the house, I have to stay connected to the house, what the house represents, and what this does, or the magic or whatever you might want to call it, that's a part of their surroundings and all this kind of stuff. But there's so many good little pieces in there, and it is kind of like a story, like a folktale.
Right. Yeah. And I don't for this story, I don't know if it was originally written with Black people in mind or not, but that was like an added dimension that just made it, I think, even more interesting, because I feel like you don't typically see like Black people in a cabin in the woods, you know what I'm saying? So like that just added like an extra layer to it that I thought was interesting, and it kind of made me think of like this almost like when I'm thinking about like folktale and then like magic and evil, you know, and it involves black people, so automatically I'm thinking of this like almost voodoo-ish type,
yeah,
you know what I'm trying to say?
New Orleans.
It doesn't really go down. It doesn't really go down that way, but that is the type of vibes and thoughts that I'm having as the story's being presented.
I was actually like, because even though where I'm assuming this is set somewhere in, because the way it looks like there's some like Appalachian Mountains or something like that.
Yeah.
But like you were talking about, like those little small things that happen in the film make me think about like this happened down in New Orleans in the bayou or something, because there's frogs and like that makes it seem like they are near the bayou.
She got that southern twang.
They do have some southern accent in there
when she says certain words.
And when she talks about her parents and things like that, it seems very much like this happened down in the bayou type of stuff. But it does seem like it got like those kind of elements.
But yeah, y'all, the story element of this is really interesting. It's a really cool concept, and I even like the direction it goes in and the ambiguity that kind of evolves.
I didn't like that, but we'll talk about that later.
Lore. It almost feels like there's some deeper lore here.
Oh, so yeah, for sure.
The story piece is really cool.
I do think there is, because one thing you'll notice in the trailer and on all the marketing material is the snakes. And so I do think that there is some like deeper stuff, lore that is connected.
There's probably some real life stuff that they've drawn inspiration from that maybe we're just not familiar with. Yeah, I'm sure somebody in the comments will educate us on that.
You might know.
Now let's jump to the visuals and the audio. So when we talk about visuals and audio, it can be, you know, just it could be the way the film looks, the color of it, the composition of the way the scenes are set up. We could talk about the music or just the sound design choices. You know, how are you feeling overall about the visuals and the audio?
Well, off the top, I think Alexandre Aja is a really good director. Like
100%.
From his other films, like the way he directs and shoots things, I feel like everything is intentional, and I feel that way in this film too. Like there's some really good shots. I really like those expensive ones where you kind of see just how far the fuck they are from everything.
Right.
And even just like the close-up shots that they do when they're telling the story, like when Halle Berry's telling the story to her kids, and it was just some really good stuff. And I love the way everything looks. They're in this cabin is dilapidated almost, even like down to their clothing, and you know they got shoes too big and clothes that are raggedy, and like you feel like these people are on their last dime. You know,
the set feels very believable,
it does.
Very real, authentic. And you're right. He's a great director. I like the camera movements. There's a lot of like POV shots too, where let's just say somebody's rocking in a chair, it'll shift to like what would be their POV, and the camera's rocking. There's a lot of cool like moments of the camera movement that sets up a lot of the scare or creepy sequences that I thought was really effective from like a director standpoint. And then you know, you already mentioned like some of the wider shots. The film just looks good. It's got this like believability to it. You know what I'm saying? But let's talk about the audio, because that's one thing that was big. That really that music in this movie is super creepy.
Yeah,
there are some moments where like some stuff is really going down. I think I told you, I was like, because I think we were both like, oh, I don't like the way this feels. Because, you know, the music always elevates the scene. Yeah. Right. Now, obviously, you can choose the wrong music or stuff
obviously,
like that.
Yes.
Unfortunately, you know, we didn't look up who composed this thing, but there's some scenes where like it's getting really creepy.
Yeah.
And the audio, you're just like, it makes you feel so like, uneasy.
Ooh, what's gonna happen?
Right. Yeah. Like it was done. It was. And while we were watching it, it reminded me of something. I can't remember what it was now, but I would love to watch it again, because there were some moments where I'm like, man, this is reminding me of something.
I wonder what it was.
I can't remember what it was, but if you've seen it, maybe you know. But the music is so eerie.
Yeah, but, it really is.
But yeah, visually,
not just the music. I'm sorry, babe, but like even like you were just talking about, like the rocking of the chair on the porch.
Like the sounds
themselves. Yeah. And we mentioned the frogs earlier.
Yes.
And, you know, they even use that like to set up stuff. So like there'll be a moment where it's completely silent. And then Mama is like, okay, whoop, shit about to go down.
Yep. Yeah, you're right. They did. Because, you know, they're out there in the middle of nowhere, right? So naturally, like, it's a very quiet movie at times. So all those sounds are, you know, brought to the forefront, and they're very loud. And I love the way they did that. I agree with that 100%. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into, I think, a really important piece to this. the performances. Were these performances incredible or what?
Man, these are like some of the best performances I've seen so far this year in 100%. Horror. You know, I want to do a discussion at some point about this, but like we have been given some really trashy movies that showcase Black characters in horror this year. Yeah. But this movie is not one of those movies.
Right.
I think obviously Halle Berry is who she is. She's a queen.
Hey, look, Halle Berry still got it.
Okay, she's an award winner. Yeah. Okay, like we know she can act, and she did a great job in this movie.
Yes,
like,
she did.
Amazing job. But I have to say, these children, specifically, the one who plays Nolan, Percy,
Percy
Daggs the Fourth. Get this baby an Oscar.
Yeah.
He needs an Oscar. They both did really good.
Yeah.
Now there's a scene in here where Nolan, he goes in. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I was crying. I was almost crying on the edge of my seat because his little monologue was so good.
It was super good.
I was like, ooh, you gotta tell him. He reminded me so much of
Jay
in what
Pursuit
movie?
of Happiness.
Pursuit of Happiness. Like he was on that level.
Yeah.
Of acting. And it was just, he blew me out of the water. Like I was like, dang, this boy can act.
Yeah. Their performances were,
but they were really good.
They were incredible.
Yeah.
Like, you know me, I don't really be crying on movies like that. But even in some of these very emotional scenes, I almost had watery eyes. I was like,
yeah,
they are making it feel so real.
Yes.
These performances,
they did feel real.
You know, some people, you know, when you watch some people act and they be trying, you can tell they're trying to force themselves to cry. Like their emotions just felt so natural. I don't know how Alexandra was directing on this.
He pulled the mess out of it.
He was like making it work, and I'm sure Halle Berry might have been helping too. But they were. I mean, you would have thought they was been acting all their entire life as a kid.
You would have thought that these children were actually Halle Berry's children, because there was that one scene where something really tragic happens.
Right.
That was hard.
Yeah.
100%. He did a really good job with that one.
Did amazing.
But yes, these kids were great. Like I said, Halle Berry was great. There is a scene in here where she kind of like switches a little bit, and she's, you know, not herself, but she's herself. Right. Yep. That one was good too.
Yeah, it was excellent.
I was like, dang, that girl, she got range in this movie.
Yeah. Man, I'm telling you, the acting in this movie, if you've seen our out of theater reaction, I was like, this is Oscar worthy. Like all performances are Oscar worthy. It will, you know, hit you right in the gut. It'll hit you right in the heart. Like the emotions are deep in this movie. And it just elevates the entire movie by how good these performances are. It just makes everything even better.
This is it's literally most of this movie is just three.
It's just them.
You know, like that's all they got to go off of. So, I mean, that's commendable on its own.
Yeah, and there are some supporting characters. Well, we won't really mention them because I feel like
they're not.
I feel like they kind of also add to some of the spoiler elements.
Well, yeah, that too.
But there are some supporting characters, but they're in the movie very limited. But the evil is like we see one character specifically as the evil quite a bit, but it was really good.
It was
super
good.
Nasty. It was creepy.
Was super gross.
Speaking of which, the effects,
the effects
were really good. We didn't really mention that in the visuals, but there are some CG elements.
Some really good. What do you call it? Like creature design, maybe.
Yeah, creature design would be a good one.
Good.
Yeah. There's some really good creature design, CG, some just really good, special effects, but performances. Oscar level, like across the board. There's some incredible stuff, y'all. Okay, so a big thing that we always ask when it comes to like a horror movie is it scary? Are the scares good? And I feel like this film is scary, and it's creepy, it's eerie, and it's got some good scares within the movie. Even some like right at the very beginning.
It don't open up with a scare. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. Here we go. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. and I love a movie that is unnerving, right? So you just feel weird.
Yeah.
You feel creepy. And I feel like this movie makes you feel like that moments. Quite a bit throughout. Yeah. And I feel like that just adds to the scary feeling. It was excellent in the scare department.
I think it was too. Especially when you put it up against other movies we've had. I'll put it like this: movies in the theater. Because that's a little bit different. I feel like we got some really good indie movies out here. But
of course.
Ones that have been
like
in the theater.
Major
studio releases. Especially when you put it up against that, this to me, as far as horror is concerned, blows a lot of those things out of the water when it comes to scares. Like I put a note that they were really well placed.
Yeah, they were.
I thought that, you know, they were very well crafted, intentional scares. They weren't like, you know, birds hitting the window type stuff. I always picked that because I can't stand that. Right. But I thought these were really good scares. And like you said, out the gate we had scares, and it was super creepy, and like even the noises that certain things made, I was just, ooh, you know, but yeah, they were good.
The big thing with the horror movie, right, is all about like atmosphere and tone.
The atmosphere is
all that stuff, and I feel like this film has it all.
Yeah.
So in the scared area, it is a horror movie for sure. Now. I see you have a note in here about the ending. What did you want to speak to on that?
Well, whether or not you liked the ending or did not like the ending.
Oh, okay. I liked the ending.
I did not like the ending.
Well, and we can't
reveal too much about the ending.
We can't. We're not going to really say too much about it at all.
But I just didn't like it.
But I did like the ending. It does leave you like with your own interpretations and stuff like that. And I like when movies do that, because then it becomes this whole, now we got whole video essays on YouTube analyzing this shit, going through the whole movie, analyzing every piece to line up to, okay, this is why the ending means this. I feel like now it's open to now it's on us. Now we get to like dissect this movie. So I like when they do that, because I feel like it just adds to the experience of the movie.
Yeah.
Even after the fact, because now we'll be talking about it, having conversations about it.
I'm not really talking about the ambiguity part of it. I'm just talking about the way it went anyway.
Oh yeah, I thought it was great.
Yeah, I'm just saying I didn't like it.
Yeah, I thought it was fantastic.
So because of that, if you want to talk about ratings.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get into it, the ratings.
Yeah, because of the way that it does end, and just some very like minor decisions along the way. Mm-hmm. My rating is 4.
Yeah.
Because I mean, a big chunk of that is these amazing performances. Like, it was a little bit creepy and scary. Mm-hmm. I thought the story was really, really good. I love the story. And obviously there's a lot more to like the backdrop of things that I really know mean something. I just don't know what it mean. And I just like that. Like you were talking about, there's probably some extra lore and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like stuff like that. So for that reason, I give it a 4 out of 5.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go 4.5 on this one, because I actually really, one, it super surprised me, because when I saw the trailer, I thought this was gonna be a very mid movie, because the trailer didn't do a whole lot for me, because you know Halle Berry has been in a lot of more like
fun,
what feels
adventure.
Like just straight to stream. It feels like straight to stream, and I'm not saying they're bad movies, but they just don't. I feel like they don't leave big impacts, and so like I was going into this like, oh, okay, it's probably just gonna be like, it's gonna be mid. It ain't gonna be bad, but it ain't gonna be great. But I was so shocked. Even watching, I was just like, wow, like I was not expecting this, and I feel like that is even made me like it more, because I was just so surprised by everything.
Yeah.
But 4.5, this film is excellent for all the reasons that we said, from performances to the visuals, the scares, the creepiness, the messaging, the lore potential, you know, diving and dissecting and all that stuff. Yeah. Like, this movie is fantastic. And you know me, right? I'm not a big rewatcher, but I actually look forward to rewatching this.
I cannot wait to watch this again.
I actually look forward to rewatching this.
Pay attention to the details.
And y'all know I'm not big on rewatching stuff like that. So I look forward to it with this. So it lets me know this is a good ass movie. So with that being said, y'all, this movie is dropping this weekend. We highly recommend you go check it out in theaters. Support this movie, because it is really good. It's special. It's creative. It's different. I'm telling y'all going to enjoy this one. This is a great film.
Yes.
This is the type of stuff that horror needs. Mm-hmm. So it's like people know that we like original creative concepts, and we want more interesting and creative stuff like this, not the like major studio schlock they be throwing out. You know what I'm saying?
Also, if you watch this video before Friday, we have a giveaway going on our Instagram where you can get free tickets.
Free tickets.
So
never let go.
Yes. So definitely head over to our Instagram and find out what you got to do to enter the giveaway.
Yeah, and you want to go over there anyway and follow us, because like I said, we do our out of theater reactions and stuff like that. We, be posting, funny stuff, the whole gambit. It's a little insight into, what we got going on beyond just the videos on here. But look, y'all, that's the spoiler-free review for Never Let Go. Thank y'all so much for tuning into this video. If you made it through the whole thing, look, we appreciate y'all. No matter if you're on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple for the podcast version, we appreciate all of y'all. Drop your thoughts on this movie down in the comments below. Look, Spotify can do comments now, so you can comment over there too if you're on the Spotify platform.
Absolutely.
But drop your thoughts in the comments on Never Let Go. what are you hoping to see next from Alexandre Aja? Like at this point, like,
he hasn't had no misses though.
Well, yeah. Well, I can't remember all the films that he's done.
Well, recently, I feel like
the ones I can recently think about, I really like. So now I'm like, okay, like what would I want to see him do next? It seems like he can handle these more deeper concepts. So now I got to start thinking about, okay, like what would I want to see him do?
Yeah.
I don't know if he's announced what his next project is, but now I'm more excited to see whatever it is because this movie is super dope. But yeah, y'all drop your thoughts in the comments, man. Again, subscribe to the YouTube channel because we got more content coming, more reviews, Fantastic Fest coverage. You name it from season 3.
Yeah.
About to come out. We'll be talking about that as well. So y'all want to be tuned in. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Y'all, we're almost at 2,002. So help us get there as well. And do the like, share, all that good stuff. This has been the Never Let Go spoiler free review. We out. We see you in the next one.